Thank you so much for the patient listening. Today, um, the topic given to me was on patience, and the second phase would be ego and how to let go this, shed this ego of us. Everything shall come in its own time. Everything shall come when you are ripe. Everything comes only when you deserve it. Says Osho Rajneesh, the greatest yogi among all, Westerners. He is very famous, Osho. He talks about the importance of being patient. Is patience very necessary in terms of sadhana, in terms of practice, yoga practice? Yes, in terms of yoga practice, it is very necessary. In terms of leading life, sadhana, in practice, patience is very, very important. What is to have patience? What do you mean by having patience? I should say, having patience means enduring the situations of life. Enduring even the hard, most difficult situations of life is patience. What is endurance? We have been tolerating people. We have been tolerating circumstances in life. That is very different. Tolerating is very different. How do you tolerate people? You tolerate people by complaining about them to others. You tolerate situations by showing your anger, frustration, and a doubt, feeling that pain and feeling misfortune, and then you tolerate situations. But having patience is completely different. It's just the opposite of it. It is enduring situations, enduring people without anger, without annoyance, without feeling that I'm at misfortune, without feeling that pain, without a doubt. Let me just, give some few examples of real life, and then you'll understand what is being patient. A farmer sows seeds of small saplings, He sows seeds every time. He gives proper water, proper nurture to those seeds and plants and their short saplings. Does the farmer take off that plant and then see whether the root is strong or not and then plants it back? No, he will never do that. He will wait for the season. He'll wait for the time, He will have that belief that this sapling of mine is my small kid. He'll ripe once. He'll give me that proper fruit, whatever it is. It might be a grain, it might be a cereal, it might be a fruit tree or a flower perhaps. But he waits for the good things to come with belief. There shall be no doubt when you are patient. But if you tolerate, you'll always be doubtful whether my tolerating this person would be fruitful to me or not. So if there is doubt, then you're not patient. The second thing is anger. Let me give another example, a small story. A monk wanted to be patient. It's a very funny story though, but still. Monk wanted to be patient, and he, wants to learn that virtue. So he sat hither and thither long hours, but it didn't, really, he wasn't finding the right results. So he went into the jungles, and into deep forest, into deep woods. He was sitting under the tree, spending half of the time in meditation, doing the japa, repetition of mantras and all those things. He's completely engaged in his sadhana. one day, after years rolled by, and then one fine day, a traveler comes by, and he asks this monk, "Oh, how elegant you're looking, oh monk, please tell me, in which sadhana are you in?" The monk didn't reply. He was in meditation. He closed his eyes. He didn't reply. The traveler kept on asking, "Oh monk, please share. What was your experience in this deep woods where nobody is there? You're still here. I had lost my path. I couldn't see where my right path is. Please tell me." He didn't speak a word. He was into meditation. And then later on, the traveler, he didn't budge. He kept on asking questions, questions, and questions, and questions. The monk became very angry, irritated, and said, "I don't know anything what you're saying. I'm not paying attention to what you're saying. Just get away from it. I want to be patient. That's what I'm going to learn through my meditations." So patience will occur only when you are amidst confusions. Patience will be developed only when you are put to these opposite situations. And how will you do that? Without doubt, without anger and irritability inside. The third thing is without getting annoyed, without feeling that pain. And for that, I'll give one more example. The example was used to, illustrated by Dayananda Saraswati, a great guru. He was also a monk who is, very well versed in all Vedas and Upanishads and whatnot, all those esoteric scriptures. So he gives this small example. Suppose Ada, I know Ada, so I'm taking her name. Suppose Ada is, traveling from one station, one particular station to another station. She has to travel in Romania. So she's sitting on the train, and then the train starts. Okay, her journey starts. The train is going on fine. She is also moving, enjoying all those beautiful sceneries of Romania, the natural beauty. And then it so happens the train halts at a station, which it is supposed to be. And then it didn't start at all. Ada has to reach the destination by 5 p.m. She has some arrangements, some meetings that she has to do professionally. She has to meet someone at 7. So she had planned in such a manner that she gets there in this destination at the particular time. But the train didn't move. Some technical problem in the train. What will Ada do? Ada will become anxious, right? Dayananda funnily says, what you are doing is trying to, run by standing in the same spot in the train and then trying to reach your destination. This is what anxiety makes you do. It is as if jogging in the same train, trying to reach the destination. Is it possible? What do you got to do? You can't get down. It's all jungle. You do not know where you are. It's a new station. It's a new town. So what do you got to do? You just have to wait patiently. If at all you got to wait, don't create that annoying mind to involve, to interfere, he says. Don't try to jog in the same station, in the same train, trying to reach the destination. So what is being patient? Now do you understand? Being patient is to wait, to observe, to accept without anger, without annoyance, without feeling tensed or panic, painful, without feeling that misfortune. Oh, all trains go very nicely at the same time. Only the train which I had to board and has to, delay. All those complaining has to be stopped. How will this occur? Only when you work over here. You have to work over here. When you work over here, then your heart will, comply accordingly. It will start to be, patient in such situations, in such opposite situations. What is the outcome of being patient? That's the second question. Now you know what patience is. What's the outcome? Why do you have to be patient? The entire world is running in a fast, in a quick rat race. You are asked to be one among them, to run along with them, or at least to run behind them to catch up the speed. But here, Vedanta or yoga is asking us to be just the opposite. Don't go beyond the race, don't go behind the race. Don't race yourself, just be patient. What is the outcome? Why does it say so? Patience is that which will help you discover important values of your life. Only when you are patient, you will understand this is very much important to me. Only when you are patient, then you will understand this is secondary in my life. I don't have to really bother about such things in my life. Patience is that virtue will actually make you discover such important values. Is it the family that is important? Is it the profession that is important? Only when you're patient, you will understand. Okay. What do you do while you run for the office? What do you do? Try to make, lunch boxes for the child and, throw some frustration over the child, and then you run to the office. So important in life. Giving proper meals, proper nurture to your child. That's the most important duty. Don't you think so as mothers? Yes. And we take children for granted. Two things we have learned. That I'll come to that in the second phase of our lecture. Now coming back to being patient. Being patient is not only suggested in yoga and Vedanta, but it is seen everywhere. In Taoism, in Buddhism, in Islam, in Christianity. Patience virtue is being regarded very, very high. Zen Buddhism, Zen meditators says, conquer haste. That's the greatest enemy of yours. You have to conquer. Haste is that which is inbuilt in you, which creates that anxiety, which creates that conflict, right? Conquer that haste, he says. How do you conquer the haste? Zen Buddhism says, concentrate on your nasal breathing, Nasika Dhyana, the meditation on the nasal breathing. A great Taoist saying says, do you have patience? Patience enough to clear away all the mud inside? Patience enough to clear away all the mud inside and to see that clear water within you? While you are patient, what happens? You will never remain patient. If you try to hold on to that virtue, patience, what will happen? The mind will start to pop something or the other. It will start to speak something opposite, what you don't want in your life, right? So that is all muck, the dirty mind stuff. So the Taoist saying says, when you are patient, then only all this muck, the dirty mind stuff comes into surface. And then you'll know, oh, this is all inside me. You have been, you haven't been noticing all these. Only when you try to hold on to this virtue, then you get to know your real you. All this dirty stuff were inside you. Why is this inside me? I'm not this. I haven't been like this. I haven't been anxious. I haven't been angry. This is because of the samskaras and vasanas Vedanta says. What is samskara and vasana? The impressions that you have carried throughout all the previous lives. Perhaps you have been a rabbit, you know. You were scared by seeing the sight of the tiger. So you were anxious. So that haste is still there within you. It is the animalistic tendencies that you have within you. Zen says, meditation says, dhyana says, conquer that haste, conquer that anxiety, conquer those animalistic tendencies within you. Ananda Yogi, Dr. Ananda used to say, he's also, a contemporary yogi. He's still here. His entire Gitananda tradition yoga therapy is being followed over many parts of the world, even in the West. So he says, when you try to hold on to this patience, when you try to hold on to this nice virtues, the first and foremost thing is the bad, evil, wicked inside you will surface, will come up. So you have to have that patience to understand this is me. This is me. You have to have that patience to recognize, because it is hell amount of shock. Hell amount of shock. What will happen when you try to cleanse the pool? What will happen? All those dirty stuff comes up, right? That is how our mind is also. When you move into deepest layers of meditation, all those unwanted stuff comes up. You have to be very patient to clear each and everything, whensoever it comes up, whensoever it arises. And that's how in English also, we have this saying, worth the wait, right? We say, worth the wait. It was worth the wait. Good. I was waiting for the sale to happen, and this sale right there, I got some discounts on my costumes. Yes, worth the wait. But I will say, it shouldn't be worth the wait. It is wait is worthy. You got to wait, and that itself is worthy. Worthy enough to accomplish all the wealths, all the riches in life. Worthy enough to administer, to incorporate discipline in your life. Worthy enough to recognize all values and ethics, important things in your life. Valmiki Ramayana is this scripture which talks about Lord Rama. Lord Rama, I've been mentioning about him time and again in my lecture series. Rama is that great divine man which we all worship in our nation. Lord Rama and Lord Krishna, So Lord Rama was once called by his father. His father was a great emperor. He calls his son and says, okay, son, you have been doing excellently well. You have been, the apple in the eyes of the people of Ayodhya, the kingdom. So I would, coronate you as the prince tomorrow. Rama was wonderful. He was ecstatic. He was happy, because this is what his objective of life was. When you are given the opportunity Like when Aurelia would be given the opportunity of, being the heads of all homeopathic association, Aurelia will be happy, right? That's her objective, right? So Rama was also very happy. That's his objective, to rule people, or to serve people, to rule in the righteous manner. He was happy. The next night, the same night, it so happens. Sorry, I think I heard a. Was it a question? Okay. So the same night, because of some verdict that he had given to his stepmom, the father calls Rama once again. Rama, I'm very sorry. I cannot coronate you as the prince. Okay. You have to leave the kingdom. I have given a verdict to my wife, to your stepmother. She had asked three verdicts from me. So I have given that. I cannot make you the prince. One, you have to leave the kingdom, live in jungles like the rishis, the munis, the seers, how the jungle seers live. That's how you have to live. And that too for 14 years. The mother was clever enough. She thought if Rama will leave the kingdom for 14 years, the people of Ayodhya, the people of the kingdom will, forget Rama. And then, take her own son, Bharata, as the king. That was her calculation. Sorry, Manish, can you help muting the people down? I thought I'm getting some questions, but I think there's some disturbance. Thank you, Manish. So that's the event happening, where Rama goes and meets his mother to get the permission, and then he leaves. Kausalya, Rama's mother, is blessing the son. Have you ever listened to such stories? She is blessing the son, saying that you are keeping the word of your father. Keeping the word, keeping the truth is more important. Your luxuries is not important. So she is blessing Rama, saying, Yam palayasi dharmam tvam dhritya cha niyamena cha savai raghava shardula dharmastvam abhirakshatu. So beautiful. She says, who am I to bless? It is the righteousness itself which you are taking care of. It is the truth itself which you are taking care of will bless you. How are you taking care of this righteousness? You have all throughout your life taken care of righteousness with patience and regularity. With complete dedication. So why did I bring this here? If you got to be peaceful in life, if you want everything should go right in your life, if you want righteousness in your life, you got to be patient. You got to be regular, dedicated. Okay, let me be truthful. From Monday to Friday, weekends are off. I can lie. That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. You got to be dedicated. You got to be regular. Take one simple value. Take one simple ethic. Rama took just one. Truth. I'll stand by the truth. Whatever it is. How far soever I have to, incur loss. I might be out of the kingdom, out of all the wealthy luxuries of life. My wife can be abducted in the forest. That also happens. So he takes all the troubles of the life, but keeps the word of his father. Why? Because that is truth. Truth is more important than my life. And how does he do it? With patience. Patience is very much necessary, not only in yoga, but to lead life. And I have already discussed how do you be patient? You have to eliminate all those anger, annoyance that is coming up. You will be tensed. You will be angry. You will feel worthless. You will feel hopeless. All those things will come into surface. Remove them very slowly. Concentrate, focus, and try to relax them down. That's how you remain patient. It is not being patient, it is being remaining patient all throughout. There's this famous saying of Kabir Das. Kabir Das is a great poet, Hindi poet. He had given the poems of his in two liners, in just 2 lines. This we call as Doha. And all these 2-liner poems involves all human ethics. He talks only about human ethics, social ethics, and then how to evolve through these ethics and become a devotee of Rama. That's what he is saying. That is his purport of all those dohas, the 2-liner poems. In one of it, he talks about this patience, being patient. धीरे धीरे रे मना, धीरे सब कुछ हो, माली सींचे सो घड़े, ऋतु आए फल हो. Manish can understand this. Because this is in Hindi. A native language is always very sweet. When you transfer that, when you communicate that message in your native language, it directly hits your heart. That's why native language poems are being, exalted very much.
Actually, when I was in school, I was champion of these Kabir Dohas. I like them so much.
So there used to be competitions in schools, as Manish had rightly said. Small young kids are allowed to memorize these dohas. What is the objective behind memorizing these dohas? By memorizing, you get those electric currents. What does dohas reveal? The ethics can be incorporated in life very easily. What does the doha say? Dheere dheere re mana. Oh mind, slow down. Slow down. Relax. Mani used to give, instructions in yoga. Slow down your breath. So slow down. Slow down is the watchword. Why? While you slow down, everything will happen. All good things will happen to your life. He says, Sab kuch hoye. Every good thing will happen only when you slow down. Only when you are patient. Why? He gives an analogy here. A farmer, he is giving hundreds and hundreds buckets of water to his farmland, to his saplings. But the saplings will never give fruit. When will the fruit come? The fruit will come only at its season, right? So wait for the season. And then the farmer is giving hundreds of buckets of water. Is there any reason behind it? There's no purpose. There's no purpose. All his efforts will go vain. What does he have to do? Give so much water, ample amount of water to the saplings and wait. Wait for the season to come. Ritu aaye phal hoy. Full fruit will occur only at its season. Even when you put lots and lots of efforts will not pay you off, but patience will. So that's how I end the first phase of patience. The second phase. is let go.
Okay, I have some questions before we move. Okay.
Yeah.
The first question regarding this last Doha. So, in business language, we say the people who wait only get what. Okay, the people who wait only gets what some the success people have left behind them.
Mm.
How much we have to wait. So we can easily take it. I can easily take my laziness into patience.
Yeah. Very good question. Is being lazy being patient? No, not at all. Being patient occurs only when you have given ample amount of work involved to the work. Only when you have given ample amount of energy involved for that work. Now, after that, what will happen? There is a period where you got to wait. Now that I have done, how much ever I have done is all done. The wait period is very, very important. What one actually does due to their own tendencies, just as they do physically, they try to do mentally in this wait period too. So doing mentally is being anxious. That is where we fall apart. We think we have to do, and we do not understand the value of undoing things. When you have done completely, when you have completely relaxed yourself, put in so much of efforts to the work that has to be, to the piece of work that has to be done, accomplished, you have done. Now what do you got to do? Wait, observe, relax. There are two parts of autonomic nervous system in our anatomy and physiology we have learned. Autonomic nervous system branches into two. One, sympathetic nervous system. Two, parasympathetic nervous system. What does this SNS and PNS do? SNS makes you stimulate. Yes, stimulation is very important. I have to run. I have to do my job. I have to run errands. So for that, I need all the stimulation. The nervous system provides you energy to do all those actions. The same nervous system in the other manner, in the form of parasympathetic nervous system, what does he ask you to do? Relax. Yesterday I was listening to Swami Vivekananda's lecture, where Swamiji was telling people have learnt the art of focus more. Wonderful. Our education system had proved that it is, worthy enough to create people who can focus and concentrate more. But Swami Vivekananda says, it is pity that we have learned to focus, but not defocus. We have learned to provide all those efforts for a piece of work to get accomplished, but we have not learned how to detach ourselves from the work, relax our mind, relax all the efforts once when our efforts are done. Manish, there lies the line of being lazy and being patient. Okay. When you are lazy, you will not be able to stimulate yourself and do the piece of work. But when you are over ambitious, you are still doing where you should undo things. So over ambitious is also one extreme. Being lazy is one extreme. We take the middle path. Don't go into extremes, because extremes are dangerous. Extremely dangerous. So take the middle path. Madhyama pada. The middle path where you are completely balanced. You're not extremes. You're not over ambitious. You're not lazy, sluggish, and not doing any work. You're doing the work. After the work is done, you are waiting for the result to come. If the result comes positive or negative, whatever it is, but you are keeping the roof, the roof clean. I call this as roof. Everybody has this roof. The roof is all messy. We put all the unwanted things at the roof just to keep our house clean. But the roof, the altar, has to be clean, clear. So if you are patient, the roof will not have any kind of anxiety. Manish, I hope I have answered your question.
One more question. Okay, this was very nicely explained. I liked it. Okay, now so my father wanted me to be a doctor. Okay, so should I keep my word of my doctor and become keep a word of my father to become a doctor, or I should teach yoga because I'm good in yoga? Maybe Ram would have been a very good king for his kingdom, but
Manish, why do you differentiate yourself as a yoga teacher and a doctor? Although you don't have a PhD degree, you are serving people in the form of health care. You are providing that health care.
okay.
You are very much a doctor. So you have kept up your word of the fathers, and you are doing your own ambition also. You are doing your own profession also. So you're doing both, not to worry.
Okay, I just use just an example. So let's say my father want me to be a cloth merchant because he has his cloth business to take care of my family business. So then let's go to the Rama example. Maybe Ram would have been very good king for his kingdom, and he would have prospered the kingdom more than his brother Bharat would had. But he left for the forest because of his father. And in last lecture, we have discussed that we should learn how to be unattached from the family as well. So why he remained attached to the word of his father?
Oh, no. Attachment to the family, detachment to the family does not mean that he is not responsible for the family. Okay. Detachment from the family means, let me give you an example here. Okay. A mother who is over caring, overprotective to her child will end up having a great headache because the child will always be dependable on her. In the beginning, it was very happy and, it was a pleasant kind of experience in nurturing that child. But later on, it became a headache. What does she have to do? She has to make the child more independent, right? Right? So that's how detachment is practiced. You are providing protection, nutrition, care, everything is there. Just that you are not attached to the fruit of your action. Mothers, provide care, attention to their children just because it is their duty, yes, their responsibility, yes, and they also have an inner intention that when I grow old, this particular guy, this particular child of mine will take care of me. That is expectation. That is wrong, Manish. That is called attachment to family. When you are attached to the family only because you are personally benefited out of that action of your family's love, family's affection, then that is wrong. That is wrong. Here in your question, Rama is not keeping up the words of the father. Rama is keeping up the truth that the father gave. He made 3 truths. I'll promise you three promises, he says to his, to his second wife, the stepmother of Rama. The first one is for the Rama to leave the kingdom. The second one, Rama should leave the kingdom in the form of a rishi. The third one, he should leave the kingdom for 14 years and Bharata should take care of the kingdom. So 3 promises he made. So when promise, Satya, truth is, is a higher verdict than a small word. Later on, even Dasharatha is calling, please, Rama, come back, put an arrow into this heart. Take care of the kingdom. It is yours. That is also Dasharatha's words. Why didn't he listen to it? It is just a word, mere word. It is not Satya. It is not truth. You remember, you understand the difference between word and a promise? Okay, promise, truth is more important than, normal words. With words, I can, hurt Manish also. With words, I can appreciate Manish also. Words are not very important. If my moods are bad, then I will hurt Manish. if my moods are good, I will appreciate Manish. Words have no, weightage, but promises, truth has. When you say that I'm going to come to your house tomorrow evening for dinner, and that's a promise, then it has the weightage. That is truth. That is Satya. That oral verdict that you give, that is more important. Why is it more important? Let us go to that part a little while later, because we didn't move into the second phase yet. So why is Satya more important than normal words can be taken for the next fourth Satsanga perhaps. If at all you all agree to, or if we have any other thing in your mind, then we can discuss that also. Do you get the answer, Manish? That truth is more important, more, heavier in terms of weightage than, normal words.
Okay, yes, I got the answer. So again, I want to add here is, if you think suppose truth and words is more important topic than the promised or the word we said, letting go, we can carry on with this thing more clear, so that whatever the example came or question came can be answered.
Okay. Let me
For
get on with it.
Satsanga, we can start with the letting go. That is
Mhm.
also fine.
Okay. So why is truth more important than normal words? Valmiki Ramayana says it is on the basis of Ritam and Satyam, universal truth and truth by verdict. The entire universe is built on. The entire universe is, maintained with. I'll give you a small example. It is a few miles, the sun is few miles away from this earth. That's how it takes 8 minutes for its, golden rays to hit the earth. It takes 8 minutes. So it is that long, that miles long. What will happen when sun starts to show up to the earth nearer? What will happen? What will happen when hills and mountains start to disintegrate their rocks all of a sudden? What will happen when the 3/4 of the entire earth, which is covered with water, goes haywire here and there and engulfs you all at one moment? How much moments it will take? How much moments will it take? It's just a few moments. The entire earth will be, the entire, the planet will be devastated. Can you just imagine that situation? Which means even the powers of nature follow certain rules, certain truths. The sun remains in that particular position because it follows the truth that I have to be here. We don't take sun as, a mass of glowing object, heat object. Vedanta sees it as, Indian culture sees it as God himself, the power himself. We don't see mountains as, mass of rocks. We see divinity inside mountains. Why didn't the mountains disintegrate? Why didn't it fly away? Why didn't Mount Everest disintegrate its snow and then get shorter? Why didn't it do? It is very easy. All those, cold winds from the Arctic Ocean can disintegrate the snow. Don't you think so? It is very easy, but they are following certain rules, certain truths. And this we call in Sanskritam as Ritam. Lord Krishna in Gita says, just as the natural powers, the natural deities, the deities of the nature, follow the rules called Ritam, humans have certain principles, certain rules, which is called Satyam. Satyam is truth. If humans don't follow their oral verdict truth, then haywire happens. Just as haywire happens in the nature. We see tsunami. 25 years ago, have you ever heard of tsunami? Have you ever heard of cancer 30 years ago? How can a cell go haywire? Cell inside is working for our own nutrition, right? Cells are developed in such a manner that they provide nutrition to our system. But the same cell is working, artificially. Instead of providing nutrition to the system, it becomes enemies. It becomes natural killers of the system. Why is it happening? Have you ever thought it so? And this we call as lifestyle disorder. We didn't follow the Ritam and Satyam. We as humans have to, one small basic step has to get up simply at that sunrise. Watch the sunrise, beautiful sunrise, pay some oblations to the sun because he is divinity. Without him, we have no energy at all. And then while you have to go down, sleep when the sun sets and relaxes by 8, by 10. Have we followed the rule? Have we followed the Ritam and Satyam? No. Now we are complaining about risk of coronavirus, corona mutants and cancers and AIDS and swine flus and whatnot. Where are they 25, 30 years ago? Where were they? Our elderly generation had some rules in their life to follow. Have you ever seen your granny, great grand nanny or nanny? Getting up very late, 10:30, 12 o'clock in the morning. We have done that. It is an imbalance. If an imbalance arises in the nature, then there is a natural havoc happening. There's an earthquake happening. There's a tsunami happening. There is a hurricane happening. When the same principles go haywire in the human world, we actually encounter such difficulties, such disorders, anxiety, panic. 3-year-old is panic stricken. I can't believe this. 3-year-old. We have led this society to such an abnormal situation just because we haven't followed the rules of Ritam and Satyam. And hence, divine human beings like Lord Krishna and Lord Rama, through their stories, through their life, they had given the life lessons for us. Even then, we don't listen to them. Even then, we don't try to incorporate. We are still under the rat race of amassing wealth, wealth, wealth. Knowing very well that your friends who are wealthy are not peaceful. No, that's the heights. You knew a few people who are wealthy, who are not peaceful, not healthy, ill-stricken, panic-stricken, but still we go beyond that wealth. We go beyond such needs which we definitely don't need. We call those as status symbols. What kind of artificial life that we are leading? It's a matter to ponder over, right? It's a matter to, meditate upon. It is very easy to find weakness in others. We are all fault finders. But we have never realized those faults within us. The second phase, it is because of ego. We have come to the second phase. I'll take 15 more minutes and then I'll finish this off. Ego. Ego and shedding ego. What is ego? Why do we have to shed ego? This is my ego. I feel good about it. Why should I shed? What is ego, first of all? Ego is the sense of I-ness and mine-ness. Okay. I am Ada. I am Joanna. I am Simona. I am Aurelia. I am Manish. I am Lalita. I am Antonio. This I-ness is ego. And then we have this. This is my profession. This is my acquisition. These are my assets. These are my kids. This is my degree. I am doctorate. This is my painting. The minus is extending. Minus is not just one, it's extending, extensive it is. Okay. What's wrong in having this I-ness and minus? There's nothing wrong. If you don't have I-ness and minus, you will not show love to your mother. You will not show patriotism. All nice virtues comes from this ego. But what's the problem? The problem arises only when this ego starts to dominate yourself. When I and mine becomes priority, there arises the problem. Rama, I was talking about Ritam and Satyam, universal truth, the natural powers truth, and the truth that we have to follow, the humans have to follow. What is the rule of being a human being? What is being humane? Prioritizing others' good before mine. That's what a soldier does. Yes? If he is dying, if he finds his, fellow soldier dying, what will he do? Go to the fellow soldier, his friend first, protect his life. His friend's life is more important than his. That is what being human is. We have completely negated that idea. No, my profession is more important. My earning wealth is more important. There arises the fall. When you start thinking in such a manner, you will never able to acquire wealth, acquire power, acquire positions, whatever you are feeling, this has to come into my life. You will never be able to. Then how should we approach life? From I to we, from illness to wellness. If you stop that I-ness to let that I-ness dominate yourself and then start we attitude, we will grow together. Okay, my friend had got the opportunity, wonderful. My enemy had got the opportunity, even more wonderful. What does Rajani says? It will come when you deserve for it. You're not deserving. Perhaps your friend, your enemy is deserving. Why? It is because that he is your enemy. You don't, accept the fact that he is deserving candidate. Not so, not so. Humans have to be humane, and being humane is prioritizing society's good before your good. If it is good for n number of people, it is definitely good for you, even though your mind is thinking it is evil, it is bad, it is wicked for you. That is not making your ego dominating your life. Will you accept the fact that your children rule your life? When your small 5-year-old kid says, oh, you don't look good in pink, can you wear black? You'll definitely do not wear black. That time you'll wear hot pink dress and then go. Right? You will not allow any person to rule your world, right? Rule your mind. Why are you asking your ego to rule your world? Why will you do that? Let go ego. Let us find the meaning of let go ego, shedding the ego. It is very easy to speak. You have to let go your ego, you have to shed your ego. Very easy. It is very easy. But you do not know the reason, you do not know the meaning of what let go ego mean. Can anyone speak? Can I put this in gallery view and see everyone? Oh, most of you are with the photographs on. Oh, it doesn't look good, It is like talking to the mirror, seeing your own mirror. No, it doesn't feel good. As a teacher, you'll never feel good about it. Thank you so much. Thank you. What does let go ego mean? Can you explain in your words? One or two, unmute yourself. What do you mean by ego shedding? Why do you got to do it? Why is the second question? Can you just say what does it mean? It is so flowery in language, Let go your ego. It sounds good, but what does it mean?
I think it's about finding your true self. So it's essentially the material world and how you define yourself through your job and your, possessions and so on.
So Florina, for you, let go ego is renunciation. Do you want to go to woods, be in jungle, underneath a tree, wearing saffron robe?
Not necessarily. Or it's kind of finding the balance between the two and what's really important. Not necessarily leaving the world away.
Okay, it definitely can, I can definitely say you're not very clear about what let go ego is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anyone else can throw light upon where, Florina could understand?
Maybe I can throw light only on what I understand with that. So that is, for me, it is not to ponder only on what makes me individual and what separates me from the others, but to grow in me what unites me with the others. What are, let's say, the basic human values.
Basically, what I was speaking all throughout the session, right? What makes you individual is your ego. What unites you, what makes your existence unite with others' existence Simona is not different to me. Simona, Lalita, Aurelia, Florina, Imola, everyone is one but same. Theodora, you too, don't make face. You are one and the same. You and me are the same. When you know that essentially, now that you know, are you rid of ego? No. It is not knowing. It is recognizing from here. What's the difference between the sweetness of a cupcake and the sweetness of a muffin? Can anybody describe? Nobody can. Hell no. It is a matter of experience, right? Only when you eat and experience this is, yes, this is muffin, beautiful, tasty, delicious. Yes, this is cupcake, creamy. Only when you taste, experience, acknowledge, then you know the difference of the taste. You cannot definitely, write an essay about its sweetness. You cannot. So let me come back. Let go ego means sacrificing doership. Sacrificing doership. Florina, when you understand all those, I believe you're a doctor, right?
Not quite adjacent. I work in clinical trials, but
okay, clinical trial. Perhaps a clinical psychotherapist. Yes.
No, project manager.
Project manager. Oh, you're in the admin part.
Yes.
So when you make the projects, when you fabricate it, finally put things together and then make that event happen and identify someone else getting acknowledged about that project from that project, and still Florina is happy that project is getting accomplished and not being sad that Florina is not acknowledged. That is sacrificing doership. How do you sacrifice this doership? Understand we are all essentially one and the instruments in the hands of Lord. We are all puppets, darlings. We are all puppets. But puppets don't have intellect, mind we have. That's the difference. Puppets are happy because they don't have minds. They don't have brains to think. They don't think that they are doing that show. They are dancing. They don't think that they are dancing. They are happy. Ignorance is bliss. But we apply all those minds, all those ego, intellect into all our acts and then feel, oh, I am hopeless. I am not worthy. Look, someone else had got the credit for my work. Remain unhappy because we stick to such egoistic attitude to this from the Lord. Rama says Rama's wife has been abducted by some demon king in the Ramayana story. The demon king's brother comes to Rama saying that my brother had done a heinous crime. I'm very sorry for it, but I don't want to stand by him. I have explained that this is not right. You are waging war against such a person whom you have wronged him. This is not right. I have explained things to him, but still he is not, obliging. He is not paying heed to me. So I am coming back. I don't want to be with my brother. I have to be with you, Rama. Please take care of me. I have surrendered completely to yourself. Let me help you in this war, he says. You know what Rama says? Dosho yatyapi tasya syat satametadagarhitam. Even when you have weaknesses, I will be able to forgive you. Look behind. If you find Ravana, the demon king, your brother who is coming back, I'll be able to forgive him also. Bring him. He says, who will be able to do that? Only Lord can, right? But if you put him up on the pedestal and say, only God can do, only God can forgive, I cannot forgive, I am just a human. This is not the right way to lead life. Why have they come? They have come down to the ethereal world to give you these life lessons. You have to practice such forgiveness. Don't put him so high on the pedestal and then worship, Lord, Lord, you are great. I am just a mean person. I cannot be you. Don't do that. Try to imbibe that forgiveness from him. Even when people had wronged you, even when people have been wicked to you, even when people had been, unworthy and bad to you, try with open arms, try to accept them. Why will you do that? Why should you do that? The why is because of your ego. When you let go, burn that ego, the why will go, and then you will be peaceful. Ma Sharada, the Guru Ma of Swami Vivekananda says, you want peace, my child? Do you want peace in life? Stop seeing weaknesses in others' lives, she says. If you find fault in anyone's life, then you will be completely erratic. You will not find peace in life. Oh, this person is wrong. This person is bad. Oh, how heinous he is in his intentions. This is what you will be doing. You will be judging people. What are you in a judge forum of competitions? How good this person is, how bad this person is. Are you a judge? No. No. Then why do you do that why do you do that in your life? Why can't you forgive people? Forgiveness is let go ego. So first one is sacrificing to worship. Second one is forgiveness. Third one is practice gratitude. If you practice gratitude, then you will understand, recognize you you can see in your body, all working. Every day the sun is rising and anger. What do? You are bewildered. You are blinded. You are so blinded that you do not follow what religion says, what scripture says, what Veda says, what Gita says. You will always doubt things. If you have such things in your life, if you have ego, lust, anger, impatience in life, you will doubt things. But when you are out of it, you become wise, you become jnani, you become peaceful, you become happy. What do you want? Choice is yours. In the second shloka, he says, Tabhyeva sharanam gaccha sarvabhavena bharata tadvasadat param shantim sthanam prapsyasi shashvatam. If you want param shantim, ultimate peace in life, what do you got to do? Surrender. Surrender unto me. Come what may, even if the day goes bad, it is because you made the day bad. I'm so happy that you made my day bad so that I learned something in my life. It is because of you my day went good. I could earn something. I could, I was more profitable. It is because of your blessing. When you do that, you surrender your ego and you be happy. With whatever you have. Contentment is more, don't you feel contentment is more important than amassing wealth? Amassing things in your life. When you aggregate more of things in your life, you feel stuffy. When you enjoy that contentment with little of stuff which you have. I went, for a Europe trip with my husband and with a few friends of mine. We just had a knapsack behind, and I think with 4 sets of clothes, 3 or 4 sets of clothes, I managed to go around 7 countries in Europe by walk, by taking trams, by taking trains, by taking buses. I tried to cover a few regions with just 4 sets of clothes. And the entire period was for 27 days. We still could manage. And that was the green part of my life. I enjoyed all those 27 days. Why? Because of the contentment. My objective was not to amass things. My objective was to amass experience in life. I was storing all the beautiful memories into my life. I'll end with this small example. A rope. Have you seen a rope? Yes. The end of the rope has to be burnt to keep the form to be intact, right? All the ropes have to be, the ends of the ropes have to be burnt a little. Only when the rope will be intact. Otherwise, the ends become very fringy, messy and all those things. Similarly, we should burn our ego to keep our form intact. Our original form is to be blissful, contented. If you burn that ego, like the rope had got its form back, you will get your form back. Thank you so very much. I'll end with a small prayer, and then we'll have the question session for 5-7 minutes if Manish allows to. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you. Thank you for patient listening. You've been so patient. You've been very cooperative, I should say. When I say please enable your video, you have all enabled your video. Thank you so very much for the kindness and for all the love that you shed. I've been, constantly in touch with Manish. He has been telling me that you are liking the sessions. I'm really very honored by your love. Thank you. Is Manish here? Can we finish the session? Manish is not here. That's okay, Mehdi. Okay, so I think we'll end the session. And if you have any queries for the next session or if you want on any topic that I should throw light upon, you please let me know through Manish, and I'll be ready with it, or otherwise I'll come up with some other stuff, interesting, non-interesting, whatever it is. But still, if you find yourself stuck in your sadhana somewhere else, please let me know. I think I might be of some help, and I will be happy if I am. Oh, Manish is still here. Manish is back. Hi, Manish. Okay. I think he's not he's virtually present but physically absent. Okay. Okay then. See, we'll see tomorrow, the next week on Sunday with some other topic like this. Thank you, Christina. Any suggestions? Please let Manish know. I would be happy if, yeah, I would be happy if you all want anything on, to deliver. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.